Hello, my name is Faisal Khan. I want to talk today about XRP and RippleNet. And, I thought maybe, I guess, 100 times before I wanted to make this video. I don't know what the backlash is going to be, if it is going to be at all, or will I be embraced by the community. But I wanted to discuss this because I feel that there's a lot of misinformation out there on the XRP and RippleNet. And what do I mean by that? The title of the video says it all. Is XRP RippleNet the only survivor? Is going to be the only solution, etc.? Is it the one that's going to save everything else? The answer is clearly no. XRP is not going to be that. I have with me over here 11 people I communicated with who told me about how XRP is the best, etc. And they were the ones who messaged me on WhatsApp and on email, and we had a very healthy discussion, etc. But a couple of things came out from communicating with these 11 people. None of the 11 people have been associated with the money transfer industry or cross-border payments industry. None of them. In fact, only 2 of them are remotely associated with the payments and fintech space. But 11 of them, 9 of them, absolutely no connection. 11 of them, and they're all telling me how Ripple is going to be the savior, XRP is going to be the savior, etc. And having no a priori information, I asked them, all 11 of them, and only 7 responded, and out of the 7, 5 had no idea what even FATF was. And they have no idea what the guidelines are. They're so, let's use the word, and I use it in a polite manner, so please do not be offended. Let's say the word XRP fanboy or Ripple fanboy. So these fanboys are they have a tunnel vision. They refuse to look at anything outside that thing. And they keep referring me to videos, and many of them told me about video links, and I went and I watched them because it would be injustice on my part not to listen to what they had to say. So I said, okay, cool, I want to learn. I can't know everything. So I looked at the videos that they watched. And they are again being produced by people who have no a priori information about the cross-border payments network, who have no understanding. They're just using, very cool images and documentary style, the videos, etc. that they're making. But what they're saying is utter garbage, literally garbage. So first and foremost, is RippleNet going to be the only solution and savior in the world? The answer is no. It's going to be one of the many. It's not going to be the network. Let me be very clear. Ripple is not going to be the network. XRP is not going to be the bridge currency. They're going to be one of the currency. And I say one very humbly, that there will be others. It has to be like that. It will be like that. At some point in time, there was Kodak, and it was the only one. At some point in time, there was Blockbuster. It was the thing. At some point in time, cassettes were there. At some point in time, VHS tapes ruled. At some point in time, Yahoo's browser was the best. Alta Vista was the great engines. No more. Because they all had to face obsolescence and competition. And I said Yahoo browser, I meant Navigator or Netscape browser. So when Netscape browser was being made and being used heavily, and you told them that somewhere down the line there'll be a small company making something called the Chrome browser and it's going to rule the world. When Firefox came out, and you say the same thing, And today, look, everyone uses Chrome. Many people use Firefox. Many people use whatever. But the fact of the matter remains that there will be alternative networks, that there will be even old networks that will realign themselves. I hear one thing a lot from all the fanboys is that, it's the end of Swift. It's not going to be the end of Swift. Believe me, trust me on that. Swift is not going to die. And I would be willing to wager a bet with you on that. I think there'll be multitudes of networks that will come up. I think RippleNet will be one of the networks. Will it be dominant? Maybe. Who knows? I hope it is for you, for the benefit of you guys. But I think there'll be other networks that will come up. I think there'll be other bridge currencies that will come up. And I think that there's a huge existential threat from many of the exchanges that are out there. The exchanges like Binance, Huobi, Kraken, Bitflyer, Itbit, etc. These exchanges will have a huge impact. Blockchain.com has a huge impact. These exchanges and these companies have now tentacles extending out to local countries where they are really going to be making a huge difference, and I mean tentacles in a very positive manner. I did another video, rather I'm going to do another video on this thing, on what I call the PayPal killer network, and I mentioned a lot about these exchanges over there. But I feel that you should not be very myopic in your investment approach, etc., and say that, you know, XRP and RippleNet is the only savior and everything else, you know, is bust. And I had a lot of hodl. First of all, I only own about maybe 100 XRP. What's that now? $20, $30 worth? I don't hodl XRP. I don't hold. I asked all of these 11 people, and obviously not everyone wanted to reply back. But the one gentleman that did, the one with the least number that replied back said he had $1,400 invested in XRP, and the other one said he had a couple of tens of thousands of dollars invested in XRP. They're both looking to times 10, times 100 their investment. Well, all the best luck to you. I don't know if it's going to go that. I don't look at it from that point of view. I look at it from a totally utility point of view, from its utilitarian point of view. You know, how is it going to function and how is it going to help in the actual banking world? Is Ripple's network going to be the only one? I don't know. You know, oh, Ripple has 300 banks. Yes, but how many banks are there in the world? How many? Over 18,000. Over 18,000 banks. 318,000 makes a huge difference. How many financial institutions and banking and non-banking financial institutions that can use cross-border payments, etc.? Over 40,000. 40,000. So how do you say that just because 300 institutions are connected, you know, XRP is going to change the world, etc., is going to do this, is going to do that? I don't believe that. I also don't believe, I believe that there is this, in this world, in this day and age, peer pressure is going to make people like Swift do a lot more things. Swift is doing a lot more things. I am privy to a little bit of the information that they put out publicly. I think you should be too. It's public information. You can go and read about it, what Swift GPI is doing. Now, before you scoff at GPI, at least learn and understand where it's being utilized, which are the institutions doing it. I see so many comments being made on other YouTube videos of people just blinded, absolutely blinded, hodl to the moon, Lamborghini, here comes the vacation, the house. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. I just don't subscribe to that, because I believe that, you know, national economics will come into play, that there will be other players that will come up and sort of balance the equilibrium of the missing, and put increasing pressure on this thing. So the exchanges could come up with their coin, regional hubs can come up, CBDCs can come up, other coins can give competition, other networks can give competition, the governments themselves can give competition, the banking consortiums can give competitions, the specialized payment networks like SEPA, etc. can also bring competition. So it's not necessary that all these things are going to just make XRP go through the moon, to the moon, and buy you a Lambo and hodl, etc. I don't subscribe to that. If you do, well, you do you, and I'm happy with that. I don't belong to that camp, but that's okay. I'm totally cool with that. I have no beefs or hang-ups if you want to invest your money and so forth. But if you're going to have a discussion with me and tell me that Ripple's net is the only network I need to think about and sort of promote and subscribe to that theory, etc., and that's something I do not subscribe to. That's something I'll say, no, I think you need to read up a little. Like I said, the 11 people I mentioned, only 2 people remotely associated with fintech, remotely. 9 others had no association, and are trying to do mansplaining to me and tell me how cross-border systems work, how I don't know about it, etc. When I've been doing this for over 14, 15 years, I think I know a little bit about the industry and so forth, But like I said, all I'm saying is, if you are a Ripple fanboy, if you are an XRP fanboy, if you're a RippleNet fanboy, all the power to you. I too am a fanboy. Again, I want to say it, I too am a fanboy. I love the technology. But I am pragmatic about it. First of all, I am not an investment fanboy, so that equation is outside. That would separate about, I'd say, 95% of you versus me. So 95% of you are probably in it because you've put some money into it. I haven't. But the part that I really like is, I think it's going to make a difference. The interledger protocol is going to make a difference. The micropayments is going to make a difference. The small value transfer is going to make a difference. But I'm also very cognizant and very sensitive to the fact that there is going to be competition from other providers, that there are going to be other networks that are propping up and are slowly building, and I can see them stitching together, and one day, they suddenly become big. I see that happening, and I see the incumbents also stitching new fabrics, building new networks completely separate from the existing rails that they too will bring in, because they already have the membership of existing banks and so forth. Anyways, let me know what you think about my video in the comments below. If you're going to pick a fight, I'm probably going to block you. But if you want to have a healthy discussion, I want to listen to your viewpoint. I'm not going to fight you over it. And I'm certainly not going to mansplain my viewpoint to you. I respect that you are a human being and you probably have read through, and I have probably read through, and I will respect your viewpoint, and that's it. But like I said, if you get into the nasties, probably it'll take me a click and you're simply eliminated and banned from the channel. But I'd love to hear your viewpoint. If you have a business inquiry regarding this thing, there's a contact form in the description below. Please fill it out. I'd be happy to get in touch with you. And like as always, if you have there's my WhatsApp number, you can use that, but please, let's keep it only to business purposes. As always, I'm very interested to hear about your feedback. Please do let me know. Till next time, this is Faisal Khan signing off.